Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about Dani Olmo, who has now been officially ruled out for 3 to 4 weeks. A situation that I never thought Barcelona would be in, because do you guys remember back in the summer of 2025 when we were like, Barcelona is reinforced the most within the number 10 position because we have so many number 10s. We have Gavi, we have Fermin, we have Olmo, we have Frankie who can also play in the number 10 position. Maybe even Rafinha can play in the number 10 position. We always said that we were never going to run out of options, but now we are here today, 4 months later, and now we're sitting here stating that Olmo is out, Fermin is out, Gavi is out, Rafinha is out. We literally are running out of number 10s, the exact same position where we had the most players. It's insane how football works. And to think that having 2 good players in every position is good enough and ideal enough to never run out of players, I think that's ridiculous now. I think that in modern football, you need to have at the very least 3 good players in every position, because players are falling down to the ground left and right, and especially at Barcelona. I mean, like, obviously Barcelona is not the only team dealing with so many injuries. You look at Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Man City, but Barcelona, a team that is suffering within the number 10 role and lacking so many options, I just can't believe it. Like, at this point, bro, just call back Pablo Torre from Mallorca, because this is just insanity. But going back to Dani Olmo, right? Dani Olmo is out for the next 3 to 4 weeks with a muscle injury, and now he will be returning to Barcelona after being relieved off his duties from the Spain camp. Even Luis de la Fuente confirmed that Olmo has not trained all week due to a muscle discomfort in his left leg. It was also stated from the national team that when Olmo did arrive, he already had signs of muscle fatigue, which did worsen over time after training. So as of right now, Olmo is going to begin recovery immediately at the national team facilities before returning to FC Barcelona. So maybe in about 2 or 3 days, we'll see him back at Barcelona. All in all, Barcelona have lost another key creative player over the past 5 weeks. It's a huge blow. And I'm going to be talking about how the Spanish team might reinforce themselves and how Barcelona are going to be reinforcing themselves, starting with the Spanish national team. Now, there has been a lot of rumors that Ansu Fati could replace Dani Olmo. Surprisingly, Luis de la Fuente revealed that Ansu Fati is on Spain's radar, and he has been on the watch list even before Olmo's injury. The coach has also praised Fati's form by stating he scored 5 or 6 goals, and we have assessed him. He's in great shape, and that's good news for Spain. And we did talk about Ansu Fati before. We know how great Ansu Fati has been in the past 5 to 6 games. He has been in phenomenal goal-scoring form. We'll see if he does return to the Spanish national team and who replaces Dani Olmo within the next 24 hours. It should be very interesting. Let's remember the last time Ansu Fati made an appearance for Spain was back on June 15th, 2023 during the UEFA Nations League finals, and he has not played for the national team since then. Now, as for FC Barcelona, obviously, we have a midfield crisis. The last thing we now want to see is for either Frankie or Pedri to get injured, and I do think that one of the ways that Barcelona could reinforce themselves for the match against Girona, because that is going to be our first match after the international break, is by bringing in Dro Fernández, and he could be given another first team start because he did start before, which was against Real Sociedad, where he played 45 minutes. He ended up playing decent, like I would just say a 7 out of 10 performance. It could have been better, he could have been faster, but all in all, he was okay. He had 23 out of 25 passes completed, 2 chances created, 33 touches, 2 touches in the opposition box, 4 out of 4 successful dribbles, 1 pass into the final third, 1 tackle, 2 recoveries, 5 out of 6 ground duels were won, and 1 out of 1 aerial duels were won. So once again, very decent. He did what he had to do, but as a number 10 at Barcelona, you must be exceptional. You must be that person that can always say, I'm going to be looking for that assist. I'm going to be looking for that shot outside the box. Hopefully, Dro Fernández can bring us that if he were to be included into our squad list and maybe even be in our starting 11 against Girona. I do trust him. I think that for the people who think that Dro is not good enough and that he's a little too underwhelming, I would just say that he's still very young and he needs to be given time and more minutes and more confidence. And the way that we can do that is by giving him more starts. This is why La Masia exists, is because of predicaments like this. If not, and Dro Fernández just gets included into the squad list but never does play for the match against Girona, maybe we could see a Frankie and Pedri double pivot with Casado as the number 10, or maybe we can see Bernal and Frankie double pivot with Pedri as the number 10. Bernal did not go to the national team as well. Hansi Flick did state that, oh yeah, look, we have medical documents. He's not really ready. He's not really ready to play full 90-minute matches. We're going to keep him here and make sure that he is 110% fit. So maybe Bernal might be ready after the international break. You never know. But there are different ways that Barcelona can modify their midfield to make sure that we can still be competitive and to maintain a high level. But it's high time for Dro Fernández. I really do think that he'll be given some chances. Dro's maturity and football IQ could earn him a massive opportunity and really give, once again, a chance to prove that he's ready for the big stage. So stepping away from the Dani Olmo conversation, now I do want to speak about the plans of Hansi Flick, because we have always been speculating who is Barcelona going to sign in the center back position, who is Barcelona going to sign in the number 9 position, and whether it's going to happen in the January transfer window or in the summer. summer. Now we do have some confirmation coming from one of the most reliable sources within Spain, claiming that the absence of Inigo Martinez has created a gap in the backline, especially with a lack of left-footed defenders. Barcelona could sign a new left-footed center back in the January transfer window if a good option becomes available. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the only player that I can think of that could be feasible and possible is going to be Marc Guehi from Crystal Palace, because his contract does end in the summer of 2026, meaning that in January 2026 he could come in for a very decent price tag. But not just that, Roger Torreo also claimed that Hansi Flick and the sporting director Deco will meet to discuss adding a new striker in January. They believe that the team does lack a consistent backup to Robert Lewandowski, and Flick wants more competition up front. Keep in mind, this report comes after what Deco stated, and he said that we're not looking for a number 9, that we have Ferran Torres, that we have Lewandowski. But I also want to remind everybody here, Deco will only say this. There is no way Deco will ever say that we're looking for a brand new number 9 to reinforce the striker position in the next 3 or 4 months. They're never going to say that. There's no reason to say that, because we're in the middle of the season. That's only going to cause more noise and chaos and uncertainty throughout the whole squad while they're playing their games, and you don't want that. So to know that Barcelona are looking to see if they can find a left-footed defender or a number 9, that really does intrigue me, because there are options. We talked about how Marc Guehi could be the center back option for maybe 15 to 20 million euros, and then we have the option to maybe sign Ete Eyong from Levante, a striker that we have been discussing over the past week. His name is really hot right now. Somebody who has a lot of experience in La Liga, so the integration is going to be very fast, and we're going to need that for the middle of the season. So it's either going to be one of these two. And I do want to ask you guys that question. Would you rather sign a center back reinforcement in January 2026 or a striker reinforcement? What do you believe Barcelona need the most? Lastly, I do want to speak about Hansi Flick and his concerns right now, because this whole video was about how Barcelona should reinforce themselves, the fact that we need more competition, more players to be available. Flick has been assessing a lot of things in the past 48 hours. This international break is very important for him, and he has been talking about assessing why the squad has a physical decline. Hansi Flick held a private meeting with the rest of the training staff, and they were looking, why are these players tired? Why are these players not pressing as they used to? Why are these players not as focused when implementing the high defensive line? There is clearly a sharp drop in intensity compared to last season, and that is worrying the coaching staff. Now keep in mind, Hansi Flick has no intentions of changing the system, and to be honest, if you ask me, I also think that Hansi Flick should not change the system. I think that this system does work. It's just that the players have to implement it correctly. I've been continuing to say this. It is a player problem, and when I mean by player, I mean like the mentality, meaning you must be focused, you must be wanting to win, you must be wanting to press, you must be wanting to always guard your opponent, always beat your marker. We need that, because Barcelona showed that they were capable last season, so why not do it this season? Flick has also saw that Pedri is one of the players that has showed visible fatigue, especially after the recent losses versus PSG and Sevilla. So Flick is currently writing this plan where he can manage the workload to avoid more injuries, and that is through affecting match sharpness. So we'll see how things do play out. Like I've said, currently at the time that I'm recording this video, we have Gavi, Fermin, Rafinha, Dani Olmo, who are all out, but expect for most of those players to make that return after the international break. I don't want to promise anything. I do not want to sit here and say that Fermin, Rafinha, and Yamal are gonna for sure return and be 110% fit after the international break, but that is the plan. So reinforcements are on the way, but whether they're gonna be 100% fit and focused, we'll see. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.